Hey, good evening. Welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines, 9 o'clock. I guess you would say that this was a meandering, late night meandering. 9 o'clock is pretty late for us. I thought I'd just talk about how, for some strange reason, we end up doing long weekends. Long work days. Now, is it a complaint? No, it's not, because we do what we do, and we do it willingly, and nobody forces us to do what we do. So it's not a complaint, just an observation about how life can suddenly take on its own, it makes its own demands, and suddenly you can find that something that you may not initially declare that this is what you want to do suddenly becomes the thing that you do. And so many times we get up in the morning very early, wake up at 5, I don't know, we just lie in bed looking at the ceiling, and we chat about what's been happening in our lives, and we spend some time bonding, and that's kind of a pleasure time for us in the morning. Listen to the chickens. What else can we do? Those damn roosters. Anyway, we do that like a lot of people. A lot of people wait until they go to bed and at night, and then they mull over the acts of the day. Well, actually, it was funny yesterday. I got to share this with you, because when we first started life here in Bohol, we came over with not very much money. Right about that time, we were just about in front of getting my US pension reinstated. They have this thing, I've said many times before, that they have a "Are you alive?" letter, and if you don't send it back saying "Yes, I'm alive," and you send it back in the same envelope, they say, "Oh, he must be dead, stop his pension." And then when you find out your pension has been stopped by God, you get on the phone and say, "Hey, I'm alive, I'm alive." So what had happened was we hadn't got the letter, so stopped my pension, and we're getting by on my very, very pitiful UK pension, which is not worth mentioning. So we came here, and we got back on track with both of my pensions, which were enough to live on, but not really enough to be able to do what we were trying to do. Now, at that time, we decided that we would build a house, and as with all married couples, it went from let's just make a bedroom, extent from Nanai's house, so that we can have some privacy. Everything is open plan in a Philippine house, and that doesn't really sit well with newlywed couples, does it? So we started building the house, and the house got twice as big, and then it got 3 times as big, and then it started to take a long time, and it was running about I don't know, 12 to 15,000 pesos a month on materials and more. We ran a tab down at the local hardware store, thankfully, to Ambicon hardware, and we were able to keep on building. So that, and the only other place that we could get metal stud, which coincidentally is what I was making the house out of, metal stud, we had a big expense, and on top of that we decided that we really needed to stop walking down to the road, and we bought a motorcycle, which changed our lives for the better. It really did. And so we were struggling, like so many other married couples who are at the beginning of their life together. We were struggling to make ends meet. And Beth said, looking back, it's been a long time since I've had to pawn my wedding ring. So we had a chat about that, and we remembered back to the days when we were struggling to make those payments, and we were struggling sometimes, believe it or not, with food or lack of it. We'd have to go down and we'd pawn the wedding ring, and we would my ring wasn't worth anything, I can tell you. I mean, it's just like this silver band. I don't know, it might have been made from melted down stainless steel screws for all I know. But anyway, we had some difficult times back then. But right now, things have changed a great deal, because now somehow our work days all get to be a long time. And today we left our house around a little before 7, or around 7 o'clock in the morning, and we didn't get back until 8 o'clock tonight, and that's with about 6 I'm guessing now about 6 hours, maybe 7 hours driving right up to Tagbilaran, and then around the place a couple of fast foods that we had, and then a lot of waiting in the hospital. We've had this many times before, because we've taken people to hospital. If you remember, we took Desiree, we took Nisa, we took Michael, we took Dennis, and even the old man went, that we call Grandfather. We took him for cataract surgery. So we spent a lot of time waiting in these places. Even baby Jane, when she had to go and she had to have, I think we went to Ubay with her, and she had to have her leg cast. But a lot of waiting, hurry up and wait. So even though we actually we heed all of your very well intentioned and caring comments about you got to take things a little bit easier, it's not that we get up at 5 in the morning and say, hey, why don't we work until 8 o'clock tonight? Wouldn't that be wonderful? We don't do that. We do what we have to do, and those long work days are sometimes very entertaining, sometimes they're well, sometimes they're a little bit wearisome, especially when we're in hospitals and we're trying to get something as cheap as we possibly can for the person that we're arguing on behalf of. It's just one of those things, and that's what happened today. Not a hugely rewarding day, but we did end up and go for pizza, and we had Batjoy with us, and Batjoy managed to guilt trip us into buying a toy, which he was absolutely delighted with, and took all of an hour or two to break. It had a battery in it. It's like a magnet. The battery is, it's calling him, saying, Batjoy, Batjoy, can you take me out, please? And it wants to be out of the toy. I don't know how it speaks to him, whether it speaks in Visayan or Tagalog, but it's calling his name. So anyway, he's managed to keep it going so far, but it's in pieces, and looks like something out of what that villain of a boy in Toy Story was like. Anyway, our long work days happen, and they happen often, and there doesn't seem to be anything that we can do about it. Even when we go to the Wayside Inn, when we go to the Wayside Inn, I think we went yesterday and may have uploaded, I seem to remember Beth saying that we all uploaded 10 videos. Well, we didn't upload any today, but believe it or not, even 12 hours later, Beth wants to drive on past our entrance to the road for our house and go to Taliban so that she can upload some videos, so that we have some there for today. That's how dedicated my warrior princess is. Meantime, I'm bushed, and I turned the four-wheel drive on, and that was it. We coasted up and went up the road, managed to get up without any hassles. A lot of water has been dropped lately, a lot of rainwater, but we still managed to get there, and we past the dead Red, who is there waiting until tomorrow, when I will go down to Taliban once again, damn it, very early in the morning to get the mechanic and bring him up and drive him to the scene of the crime. And I already have the part which has to be replaced, and somehow with his expertise he is going to be able to do it. Okay, so that will be our day tomorrow, and when I go up I'll take Beth with me and I'll drop her at the Wayside Inn, and she will upload some of the videos that I do tonight. Thanks for looking in. This is one of those videos. I'll be talking to you soon. Bye for now.